Today's produce travels an average distance of 1,500 miles to get to an end customer. It needs to have a longer shelf life, arrive in good condition with optimal firmness, visual appeal, and good nutritional value. The best mineral for the job is calcium, and there's no better calcium product on the market today than Albion Plant Nutrition's Calcium Metalosate. Calcium Metalosate is a highly bioavailable, foliar-applied amino acid chelate. It delivers calcium directly to the fruit using a unique delivery system to increase yield, make crops more resistant to pests and disease, as well as greatly extending shelf life. And that means a big return to you as the grower. Albion's expert staff of certified agronomists and horticulturists can assess optimal growth needs with timely and appropriate mineral applications. Metalosate products are the most cost-effective on the market due to their extreme efficiencies of application, plant utilization, and results produced.
So what makes Metalosate more effective than any other product on the market? First, let's begin by explaining how Albion's Calcium Metalosate is more effective by talking about plant nutrient movement. Calcium is perhaps the most important mineral determining the quality of fruit, particularly in fruit that is shipped or stored for long periods of time. Research has shown that fruits with low calcium concentrations are more susceptible to many disorders affecting their quality and shelf life, costing the industry millions of dollars every year when fruit is rejected. There are three major reasons calcium does not get to where and when we need it in the fruit. There are two systems for plant nutrient movement. They are movement in the xylem tissue of the plant and phloem tissue. Let's first discuss movement in xylem tissue. Xylem moves nutrients from the roots to the leaves. This movement is in one direction and driven by evapotranspiration. The water evaporates from the leaf surface, leaving the minerals behind. The problem is, the great majority of minerals, including calcium, within the leaf cannot move out of the leaf back into the fruit because they are immobile minerals. It is difficult to have a high calcium concentrate in fruit despite the fact that calcium is usually one of the most abundant minerals in the soil and the leaf. The plant's foliage by far has more surface area than the fruit. The xylem system of delivery, by its nature, sends most of the fluid-containing nutrients to the leaf, not the fruit. As well, most fruit is sheltered by the leaf, causing less evaporation of the fluids than the leaf, thus adding to the problem of receiving the calcium it needs. Another problem is the minerals in the xylem fluid do not travel from the roots to the leaf at the same speed. Nitrogen is the fastest moving element in xylem. Calcium, by comparison, moves at only 5% of the speed of nitrogen. This is a sort of a tortoise and hare story, where the nitrogen, like the hare, moves at 100% speed, and the calcium is like the tortoise, moving at a sluggish 5% of the nitrogen speed in the plant. So, due to leaf surface area and speed of movement, there is 100 times more calcium in the leaf than in the fruit. But we need calcium in the fruit, not the leaf. How does Albion get it there? We need to talk about the other system for plant nutrient movement called phloem. Phloem allows nutrient movement in all directions within the plant. There are 4 mineral nutrients that have the ability to move out of the leaf in the phloem. They are nitrogen, phosphorus, magnesium, and potassium. The rest of the minerals, including calcium, are immobile because they cannot move easily in phloem. The plant produces carbohydrates, sugars, enzymes, hormones, proteins, and amino acids. All of these molecules have the ability to move in phloem with the same speed that nitrogen moves within the plant. So how does Albion's Calcium Metalosate work? Metalosate works by disguising calcium as if it were a protein-like molecule. It gives the slow-moving, tortoise-like calcium element the ability to move in the phloem with the same speed as the nitrogen. Albion's calcium metalosate uses a patented chelation process with its minerals to form an organic molecule. Chelation is the process of attaching a specific organic molecule called a ligand to a nutritional mineral at two places to form a ring structure. Albion's calcium metalosate products are very similar to naturally occurring chelates found in plants. The advantage of using an amino acid ligand chelated to the mineral is that it will surround and protect the mineral from adverse interactions that can take place in a solution or on the surface of the leaf. Non-chelated minerals are often rendered unavailable to the plant or are absorbed at very low rates. But Albion's metalosate products are rapidly absorbed. Calcium metalosate arrives at the same time in the fruit as the nitrogen. The speed of penetration is such that when you apply our metalosate foliar fertilizers, 50% penetrates directly into the plant and is moving within 2 hours, and 90% within 4 hours. And that is the advantage of applying metalosate. It solves the problem quickly, and that's what we are all looking for. A quick, efficient solution to calcium deficiency and a greater return on investment. Albion has the only calcium that can move in phloem with the speed of nitrogen. Albion's calcium metalosate is the only form of calcium that can move from the leaf to the fruit.
We're able, by increasing the calcium levels in the actual onion, to ship onions all the way to the east coast of the United States without having any decay, or much less decay compared to onions that were not treated with calcium, which is of course a financial benefit to the grower, because if your onions or your produce deteriorates at arrival at destination, you're going to be liable to be having to replace it or refund the money that has been forked out for that produce. Onions are able to be shipped by truck to the east coast of the United States without having any decay whatsoever at all after a good calcium program in the field. It's the same thing with calcium applications in table grapes. The retention of berries to the rachises is much highly improved by having higher levels of calcium. The advantage of our calcium material in that context is also that it doesn't leave any deposits. So it can be applied to fruits like table grapes and also cherries that are in the same boat without leaving any deposit, without leaving any obvious signs of them being applied to the fruit, but with the benefit of increased shelf life, increased firmness, and of course increased appreciation by the consumer.
We're also working with the largest watermelon exporter in Mexico. And before using our program, he had consistently certain shipments of product to the border. And after using our program, he found out that the same size of packaging, same sizing of fruit, when they get to the border, they had to remove 3 to 4 extra pallets of watermelon because they were extra weight, because the ability of these cells to contain higher solutes. So the density of the fruit increased, which increases the shelf life, the quality, the sugar content, the desirability of the product. We're doing the same thing in chilies, where before, when they shipped the chilies from the field to the market, they would fill sackfuls, they would put a certain amount of sacks on the truck. Now, because those sacks are heavier and denser, same size of sacks, we have to reduce the amount of sacks you put on a truck in order to ship them to market, because they're extra carb. I'm thinking in Spanish, they're overweighted.
Bitter pit is the main disorder with calcium when you're with apples looking at storageability of fruit. And so we have looked at applications of calcium to reduce bitter pit in the fruit so that it can store longer and also be exported. And we found that the early applications of Metalosate Calcium are very beneficial. One of the big advantages of the Metalosate Calcium is we can go on at full bloom with our products and not damage the crop in any way. In that sense, we're able to get the calcium in there into that developing fruitlet right as it's forming on the tree. That calcium will then carry through the season and result in significant reduction in bitter pit on apples. And that means a lot to the growers that are trying to store that fruit, and also the growers that are trying to export that fruit to other countries.
Using Albion's Metalosate products has advantages to you as a grower for many reasons. You'll receive higher yields, better fruit sets, increased vigor, higher sugar content, and longer shelf life. By using Albion's Metalosate range of products, you will have less concern of phytotoxicity because the absorption of the amino acid chelates are so efficient. Much lower application rates of the mineral can be used to achieve measurable responses. Effective rates of Metalosate can be used on sensitive crops without problems like burning of leaves, flowers, or marking of fruit. There are also many advantages to using Metalosate amino acid products. Metalosate products are highly absorbable due to their small molecular size, giving it easy passage through the leaf cuticle and cell wall barriers of the plants. The ligands are not synthetic or foreign to living systems, but are actually required by them, so the plant has a natural affinity for metabolizing the amino acid ligands. Albion's calcium metalosate mineral amino acid chelates have a unique structural stability. The bonding strength of the ligands are strong enough for the molecules to remain intact through application and absorption, but not so strong as to resist breakdown for metabolic use within the plant. This fact alone is what gives Metalosate such a unique benefit over other forms of mineral nutrition on the market today. And if that's not enough, Albion also utilizes a patented two-step approach to solving mineral deficiencies in plants. Coupled with the Metalosate liquid foliar products is the patented team analysis report to assess your plant's nutritional needs through timely and appropriate mineral applications.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the tools that we use in the Central Valley of California, which is leaf analysis, plant leaf analysis in the laboratory, and also the evaluation of the nutrient levels that we get out of the plant analysis at the laboratory, and the team analysis that is involved in that. TEAM stands for Technical Evaluation of Albion Minerals. It's a unique patented process where we look at the balances between the different nutrients that are present in the leaf analysis, allowing us to look at the tissue of plants, evaluating those mineral levels, and then making a recommendation for minerals that would be most of value to the crop in order to bring the balances back that are necessary to get optimal growth of plants, optimal yield, but also optimal quality of plants, of the fruits or vegetables that are being produced in that particular field. The team analysis actually is based on two principles. The optimal range system, which looks at each of the nutrients that are in that sample, and if the nutrient, that specific nutrient falls within that optimal range. That is one way of looking at leaf analysis. The other way of looking at leaf analysis is the balances between all the nutrients that are present in that leaf sample. And by looking at the proportion of each of the nutrients compared to all of the other ones. That's called the DRIS system, which has been developed many years ago. The team analysis, or the technical evaluation of Albion Minerals, is a combination on both of those two. With all optimal levels of nutrients in balance, all numbers on the analysis would be zero. The higher negative the number is, the more that nutrient is needed or out of balance compared to what is present in the sample. So the higher the number is positive, the more that mineral is present at a level that is excessive. by then adding as a foliar application the nutrient that is most lacking or most negative in number in that evaluation, we can bring a balance back within the plant, grow the most high-yielding crops that way, and the best quality fruit or vegetables that we are working on.
Albion Plant Nutrition provides nutritional solutions with an exclusive two-step approach to solving mineral deficiency in high-value crops to optimize health, yield, and shelf life for today's grower. Metalosate products are designed for foliar application and are the most cost-effective on the market today because of their extreme efficiencies of application, plant utilization, and results produced. Metalosate foliar fertilizers are water-soluble, non-toxic, and can be mixed at the same time with other foliar applied products such as insecticides and fungicides for efficient one-step applications. For more information regarding Albion's Metalosate Calcium and their entire product range in your area, contact your local Albion Plant Nutrition representative. Ask about our exclusive team report for optimal yield and maximum return on your investment. Albion's Metalosate. Nutrition delivered.